actual and truth. I do think we have to increase the levy, whether that's a small amount or not. We've seen the past, first of all, we just had an election that we don't know what next year is going to look like. We've seen pricing for construction skyrocket. Excuse me. And what I don't want to do is be behind the eight ball. We've done a good job of being in front of it. And sometimes that means paying that price early than late. And I worry, we've seen institutions dissolve and fail because they didn't plan. They failed to plan. I agree with my council member Burns. We've got to exhaust everything, but I think we've done that for the past 4 years by not raising taxes. And the reality is, excuse me, a number of residents in the second ward say we don't want the increase, but we understand the need for it. We know that in 2026, Councilmember Reed, right, is that when you said the grocery tax comes off the market? That's how many million? Can somebody give me a number?
2.5.
2.5. We know it's coming. And for us to not be ahead of that is going to be a problem. So what does, and I don't know if you all are prepared, what does a 3% increase look like to the average Evanstonian and change of what it costs approximately?
$60.
If we go with 1.5 million, 3% increase would be around that 1.45 or $1.5 million.
Okay.
It would be around $48 on a $400,000 home.
Okay, so I don't know if anybody in TV land heard that. You said $48 for a $400,000 home
City
per
portion
year.
Of tax, yes.
Say it again.
City portion of tax only, yes. That's
Right.
increase in our.
Right. And what hurts, and I've talked to myself about it, let's say that. We have to come together as the taxing bodies in Evanston and sit down and look at what that looks like in totality. We're the last person to talk about what our taxing dollar and the increase will be. So we seem to be the bad guy. But we're representing everyone, whether they're in school or not. And Evanston, that I know, when it's time to do the hard work, we've never had a problem doing that. Financially, that may be a problem for people, and I get that. But if we don't pay the piper now, we will pay them later. And I just think being fiscally sound and being a taxpayer myself, no, I don't want to increase that, but we need to. So we're looking at, excuse me, major capital processes that are going to cost millions of dollars. And that was one of the very first things I said when I got here. We're not paying attention to our property. We've got to get on cycles and pay attention to those things. They cost, and we know that. So it hurts, but I think incrementally we have to do it. Let me be clear, it could be political suicide to say that, but I'd rather die now than later. And I'd rather not do that to somebody else who'd have to sit in the seat and then they have to do a 10% increase and everybody's like, what? When you see that fallout, it's always from what people did before. It's not for what happens right now. So the economics is from before. And I just don't want to do that to the next person just because. So I'm in favor. I don't know what that looks like. I say 3, no more than 4%. I'm in favor of that.
Councilmember Sufferton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, yeah.